Welcome to Learning at Work. I'm Eden, your host for today. In recent years, organizations have begun to acknowledge the potential of harnessing the learning that happens in the workplace, in addition to sending employees for external training. Now, these organizations believe that with the right support, the best learning happens on the job and it can lead to positive outcomes for the organization. However, some organizations are able to build this learning culture much better than other organizations. How are these organizations able to do so? Here with me is Dr. Helen Bound, Head of Center of Work and Learning. She'll be sharing some tips on how to make your workplace learning friendly. Welcome to the show, Dr. Bound.
Thank you, Eden.
Dr. Bound, there's a lot of interest lately in learning that happens at the workplace. Can you help us understand what exactly is workplace-based learning?
Yeah, it's an interesting term, isn't it? Workplace-based learning. So if we break it down into two phrases, workplace learning and work-based learning. So work-based learning we can think of as being driven by an educational institution where the learners or the students spend part of their time in the workplace, whereas workplace learning you can think of as being driven by the enterprise. And it's the stuff we do every day and we learn through that and as a result of that.
So why do we need to pay attention to workplace-based learning?
Okay, there are a number of reasons for this. One is the fast pace of change, all right? And it's, as we know, it's constant. So we need to keep up to date and in some cases we need to keep ahead. Also, it's costly to release staff for training, so more and more firms are saying, enough, we can't afford this. And because if we're intentional about the learning that happens naturally in the workplace, then the workplace is the best place to learn for work.
Right, so what are some advantages of learning at work?
Okay, there are quite a number of advantages. We can think of investment in learning as a benefit, not as a cost, but as a benefit. And of course, we'll see pretty immediate payoffs and also long-term payoffs. It's an important means for retaining staff. So if you value your staff, you invest them, you develop them, they're much more likely to stay, and then you don't have the cost of constantly recruiting and bringing them up to speed.
That's actually a very strong, convincing argument for learning at work. Now, can you share with our audience some critical success factors of fostering a conducive workplace learning environment?
Okay, if we look at the tree here, we can see there are a number of branches here. So I'll just work my way through them to explain what this is. This has been developed by IAL. And I'll just go through the branches because we can think about these as learning conditions. So if we think about disposition to learning, this is about the individual and the organisation's attitude to learning, right? If you take on and recognise that these are opportunities for development and growth. Then if we look at rewarding proficiency, this is important in terms of giving recognition to people. Saying, look, that's a great job that you've done, that's really good.
Okay.
Management support is that thing, essentially is about moving from being a cop to a coach to support your staff and develop them. And so the learning and development support we can think perhaps of as the systems that the organisation has in place to support learning. There's a whole range of strategies and techniques that can be used. This is about being intentional about the learning opportunities that are there every day. So workplace environment is an absolutely critical a branch or condition, if you like, because that's about the importance of trust. You have to be able to feel comfortable and supported to learn by trial and error, for example, to learn from your mistakes. And the degree of change in the job and the industry, it's what I mentioned before about the constant change, both at industry level, at policy level. The whole context within which the work takes place is constantly moving. It doesn't stay still. And we have to be able to adapt and move with and into and through those changes.
It's all about keeping it alive, actually.
Yeah.
Right, now let's talk about a critical success factor, work environment. How does this help?
Okay, work environment is actually really important. Much of learning is social. We learn through talking to others, through interaction with others. We learn through doing the work, through the tools that we use and so on. So if you have an organisation that encourages interaction, the whole range of techniques like demonstration, shadowing, all those sorts of things, then these are examples of a supportive workplace learning environment.
Wow, imagine if all the organizations practice what you've just mentioned. I believe the employees will really go all out to be proficient in their jobs.
Yeah.
Dr. Bound, I see that the tree has roots as well. Now, what do these roots represent?
Okay, so we've got 4 labelled roots here, and when we talk about change management, it's important to have consultative change so that it develops a sense of ownership and a distribution across the whole organisation of that sense of ownership. And then technology-enabled learning. Technology can be a tool that you can use to assist the process. Management supports. This is this thing from cop to coach.
Well, cop to coach meaning like, you know, is it like policing something to being, you know, helpful? And
That's exactly it, yeah. Okay. So this is a phrase that was coined in Australia in the 1980s.
Yeah.
So from looking over at everybody else to supporting and developing people.
Okay,
yeah. And then role modelling is of course a really powerful way of saying, this is what we expect, these are the standards, follow me.
That does make a lot of sense. So basically what you're saying is that without the roots to anchor the organizations, no matter how beautiful your branches are, your tree may still topple.
Exactly. Top-heavy trees will tend to topple.
Yeah. Right. Now, is there anywhere the public can get access to this learning tree?
Sure, yes. The learning tree can be found in the Learning at Work website, where you'll find detailed explanations of the change management and the learning conditions, the branches.
Now, how would someone know if his or her organization is indeed learning friendly?
We have an index for learning at work, right? So it's like it's a survey tool that you can use to self-rate the organization. So anyone can fill it in. Once you've filled it in, there will be a report generated, and that will tell you how learning friendly your organization is.
Okay.
So it can be found at the Learning at Work website.
Right. Now, before we end our session, are there any last tips for our viewers?
Yeah, I do. I have a number of tips, and mainly to employers. The first one is to believe in your people, right? Value your people and believe in them. Think about where your enterprise is in the value chain and how you can leverage on the abilities of your staff to make the most of what you have. And then, of course, contact IAL to learn more about how we can support your journey and start with the website. Right? And of course, good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Bound. It's been a very interesting and fruitful discussion.
You're most welcome.
So there you have it, the critical success factors and preconditions you need for a learning-friendly work environment. There's even a survey to help you determine how learning-friendly your workplace is. I'm sure that with all these tips and tools, we can all look forward to workplaces that are great places to work and learn. Thank you for watching Learning at Work.